chance.
And we back.
With another reaction. This time it's gonna be Jubilee. Do all people with HIV think the same? That was funny.
Nah, bro. Go ahead, though.
What comes to your mind when you hear I got HIV?
Nigga, you fucked up on life. Choices. And now you might
So
just,
what
you
if
just
somebody?
fucked.
So no. So what if
No,
somebody
no.
got raped and got it? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, you fucked, literally.
Stop right there. Stop right
I mean,
there.
I don't tell you, bro. And let's just say, you know, I'm big at this point, and you know, I'm sorry. You're probably dead at this point, to be honest with you.
That's crazy.
Like,
let's get
I'm
into
sorry,
it.
but you be honest with
That's
you.
crazy.
Like,
let's get
I'm
into
sorry,
it.
but you dead. Like, it's over with.
That's wild.
Because HIV develops into AIDS, right? And then once you get full blown AIDS, niggas ain't Magic Johnson.
Planned Parenthood.
You dead.
That was where I found out that.
I mean, they have medicine for it, so
I mean, it's cool.
that's crazy.
That's just.
If left untreated, it can lead to.
No, but you know.
That's tough.
That's so tough. My mind's so good.
We see why he got it. We see how he got it. Ah, chill. Bro. Chill. Hey,
How does House do it?
let's do that. We did not know something. I didn't see the cane. Don't come for me. We didn't see the cane. I thought he was extra. Good. That's crazy.
Even being diagnosed with AIDS, I had full-blown AIDS when I was diagnosed in 2012. The fact that we can fully, completely recover and I've been undetectable for years now. I'm completely healthy. It doesn't affect my life at all whatsoever. I have the same life expectancy as anyone else. So.
I'm on disagree because I feel like it's what you make it, and also there's people across the world that don't have those resources or they're getting killed. So I feel like
expected that.
not everyone can just go to the LGBT center or go to the doctor and get taken care of. So
I want to hear the dude with the cane story. I agree.
I'm pretty sure.
I figured, bro. Somebody tell me they got AIDS. Raps.
Y'all have to be capping, cause like, for real.
Like, good example are my parents. I was very nervous in telling them when I.
Dang, how do you
received
tell
this
that to your
diagnosis.
parents?
They
I got
didn't
AIDS.
know how to handle it, how to take care of me or proceed, or how to even support me. There are things that changed, and then as time passed by, they finally started getting more familiar with it. They've come to accept it in a short amount of time.
For me, like, I don't think I ever have
sex?
relationships that get beyond the point of once you know, we're gonna either
You
go
know,
forward
there's
as
a
a
website
friend
for
or a
people that
relationship,
have it,
or we're
so
not.
they can hook
You know,
up.
last time I remember that, I was 17, and I had a buddy of mine who were at the
That
movie
shit's
theaters, and there was like
sick.
some gum or something, and he was just jokingly like, "Oh, be careful, you don't want to touch that, you'll get AIDS." And I literally took that moment to tell him and to open up, and he changed, and it was.
Bro,
it was
I
just a
thought
joke
you
in
thought
my
the same
mind, and I
thing.
knew it was just a joke, so I took that time to be like, look, this is what it means. This is why it's not necessarily so funny in this context. And he apologized, and we grew, and we're still friends till this
You know, I
day.
thought
I don't
like,
think anyone's treated
and
me
still
fair
some would think
or
that
treated me different. Well, they treated
if
me
I touch
differently because
anything in the
a lot of people try to,
bathroom, public
minimize
bathroom,
myself, or,
I'll get
open
AIDS.
Comments like, oh, like, how do
Oh, I
you
still
do
think
it?
that
Like,
too.
how are you
Like,
thriving?
you'll never
How are you
catch me going
surviving?
through a
And I just,
garbage
I think
can,
people
'cause
just
I
like
know
used to always feel sorry for
if
me,
a
and I
needle
kinda
hit
didn't
me,
like that.
man,
So I was like, you know, I just
the whole
never
finger
wanted
has to go
tell me that's
within
why
5
I go
minutes.
so hard
Not even
today
5
with
minutes.
my
Within 10
whole career
seconds, bro.
and everything that I do.
I'm getting your soul shit. Disagree. All of them. Sluts.
Oh, dumbass.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I was
Are y'all
volunteering
stupid?
for a nonprofit that specifically targeted 18 to 24-year-old men around STIs and avoiding getting HIV. So I thought I was going to be the last person to get HIV. The fact that I was diagnosed with AIDS and thought I was going to be dead in 3 years told me, like, I didn't even know that I could live with HIV.
I mean, I was born positive, so when I found out, I was 11. I found out because my
That is
doctor
possible.
let it slip.
I
And my mom
totally
didn't tell me
forgot.
because I wasn't. She felt I wasn't of age yet. The next week in school, we were taking sex education. We were learning, and I
That's so
found
tough.
out all about this HIV and
Yeah,
the
I'll
death
be like,
rates
"Mom,
and
what
what it meant to be positive. And I'm this 11-year-old, so like, it is this thing that I learned. It was a crash course. I'd say I learned fast about what everything.
Y'all
was.
educate us, dude.
But for
You
me, I
HIV,
didn't
like,
even
still,
get to
like,
that point yet.
And the
have
school
sex
systems
without
in America, I
infecting
feel like,
a
aren't
partner.
out here really teaching everyone
Oh,
about
no, like,
same-sex
once you get that
intercourse,
shit, like,
and,
it's
that they
so
only teach
brutal.
like normal intercourse or normal. Like,
Even the emotional and mental state of it.
The only way
It's not
you
even.
can't
That's not
infect
even. We're not
somebody
even
is if
there
you do it
yet.
with
That's
somebody
the
that already
unfortunate thing.
has
We
it.
should be talking about how to handle it on an emotional
That's
level,
right.
on a mental level,
In all
and
Like I have had clients who have been at Gay Pride and then they go into a booth to go get tested, and then you go and you come out and you have HIV, and now you're supposed to go and have fun at Pride and nobody told you.
that's funny that you mentioned that you go to a testing booth and then you found out and you're at Pride, because that's exactly how I found out. And when I did, they did offer me services like kind of right then and there, but it also was just like very overwhelming because
And
I
you're
just
at a
spun a wheel
party.
because I wanted a prize, and then I walk into a booth,
Right.
and I walk out, and then it was just like, oh my goodness, like my whole entire life just like kind of changed like that.
What? Y'all all gotta say yes. Actually, the gay dudes ain't having children. Well, if they choose to have a donor, or what's it called? A sperm, something.
I am not afraid to have children because we have the stats of how many women have not passed the virus to their children having an
Well,
outbreak.
tell that to him.
Since then,
For real.
since
Tell that to
Like,
him.
literally.
14 years now, we've
You know,
only progressed with the medication,
I would
and
have
now
to kill my
in
mom.
the last 4 years, we've come U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable.
That sounds
And
like
we
wishful
knew
thinking
if you
to me.
couldn't pass your baby 14 years ago, pass HIV to your baby, that right there said that U equals U was a thing. We just couldn't prove it until we had case study after case study with 80,000 people, you know, a few different times
For
to be
real?
able to
Yeah, that makes
scientifically
sense.
say
People that don't have
undetectable
it,
equals
like, it's
untransmittable.
undetectable.
You don't
Can't
pass
transmit
it
it?
today, and
Is
you
that
don't
what it
take
said?
medicine
Yeah, that's what it
yet.
said.
so I know for sure. You know, I can have a child.
Shit,
you know,
what that
maybe
nigga doing here
positive.
then?
But I'm still to this day dealing with that
Wait,
little
no.
extra.
He had full blown AIDS.
What if?
And now
letting
it's at the
that
point where it's
stop me and letting
undetectable.
that be the thing I still
Yeah.
have to
How?
overcome.
I don't know.
When
Once you get
we
full
were
blown,
asked the
you're
question,
destined to
for some
die. That's how that
reason, my
works.
mind was solely
This
based
nigga Magic
on,
Johnson
oh my
too?
God,
That's what
what
you
if
trying to
I
tell me?
get a kid now? Like,
Did we
I'm
miss
totally
something?
not ready for
Didn't he
it.
say
But
full-blown
basing
AIDS?
it on
Like-
the whole HIV situation, I would have to walk over to strongly
You're
disagree
so cute.
because honestly, because I'm not afraid to have children because
So these
of
niggas
my
gay or something.
diagnosis.
Most of them adopting anyway. So. Well, that nigga should fully disagree. Strongly.
Shit, I'm pissed.
Wait, what's the girl story though? How did she get it?
You know what?
She been real hush.
I wasn't necessarily taking preventative measures in my younger years. I would just wing it all the time, and whenever I would get tested, I would always say, "Oh, great, I dodged a bullet." But looking back from now, I would say that it's the result of my past actions.
Clear.
I feel like I also agree because I kind of knew what I was doing obviously wasn't really the safest thing, but I had never thought, especially because I was so young, I thought I was like invincible, that I would end up
Do you
being
think there's
the
something
person who
wrong
got
that
it.
they
And
somewhat
so
agree?
I just had always
and
kind
not
of told
strong?
myself
Yeah, it should
while I was
really be
making
strong,
wrong
dude.
decisions,
Like,
"Oh,
take
you'll be
accountability,
fine.
bro.
That doesn't happen to everyone, like you'll be like lucky."
Well, I mean, we were born with it, so.
Oh, she was one with you.
There's only so much we can. Yeah, I will say though, when I take a step back, I spent a lot of my youth because my father passed it on to my mom, and then I contracted it for a
That's
long time.
so
I
tough.
put that frustration in him, and I
Oh,
look
you
at
like,
now
bro.
as an adult,
That's
in
crazy.
my 30s, where he was when I was born, and realized that also he was in a bad place, and he didn't know
Nah,
what
yeah,
he was
it's
doing.
on site.
It's not the biggest thing I could do in my life is give him that forgiveness. And so like I try to remind myself of
Unless the
that
mom
stuff
like
as
knew
well.
that he had it and decided it's okay.
Who gonna knock out? Somebody's lying.
I think that Asian nigga is lying.
Somebody's lying.
Who has the
Okay, I will
undetectable?
speak.
Not him.
There was
that-
only one instance when I lied about my status. I was fairly new to the diagnosis, and I myself was still not fully ready to embrace it, and it was already in the heat of the moment. So I figured, okay, if I stop now, then it'll totally ruin everything. I myself am secure that I'm not going to transmit it to my partner, but I don't think we have the time right now to educate the partner while we're in the heat of the moment. So because I was confident enough that I'm not going to transmit it, I simply just said, oh yeah, I'm negative.
And I can understand why.
And gave that nigga that
sometimes
shit.
I think about it like,
Yeah, that's what I got out of
have to
that.
say it.
You know that's illegal.
There's
Yes,
nothing there.
that's a
to
crime.
test. It's impossible. A blood test cannot even pick up the level count of the virus. So it's almost like what my adopted mom says. It's HIV neutral.
Cap. And
Yes,
you
sir.
should always tell people you have it.
Oh yeah.
I agree because the way I was diagnosed, well, no one told me, and I kind of had to find out for myself and kind of just like exploring and just, I don't know, I just feel like it's just a thing that I do, and I feel like it's just good karma for me, so.
I leave it up to my partner. I've been in long-term relationships where my partners were not comfortable not wearing a condom. Okay, that's cool with me. I've been in long-term relationships where they're cool with not wearing a condom, and that has been most of my relationships.
You did the same
Not
thing
one person
twice.
is contracted.
For me, psychologically, I think growing up and
Yo,
being in
I'm
such
hearing that she
denial
is
for so
giving these
long about
partners
being gay,
HIV.
and then being
Like
bullied
she
about it and
doesn't have.
hating myself
Literally.
in a way for being gay for so long.
Did
I
he see
didn't
it?
lose my virginity until I was 22 to a guy, and it was like at that point I was so desperate for intimacy, for a connection with another guy, that the last thing I wanted was, sorry I'm getting a little,
Safe sex? Like the last thing you wanted was
the
safe
last
sex?
thing I wanted was to have a physical barrier between us. I was so desperate to connect with another human being. So I think that's why I was willing to compromise my body in order to get that intimacy that I like desperately was craving.
He is a slut.
But anyways, like,
Full blown AIDS.
I'm
I
not
am
understanding.
Lexi Gibson, and I was born with HIV.
I feel like my status has like brought me to a place in my life where it definitely over this past year has shaped who I've become and how
You know that nigga
I carry
Jay?
myself, and
Nigga
so
with
I
the
feel
ones
like
on?
being
Yeah.
ashamed of it. Although I used to be, it's not like that
Some.
anymore for me because it's just something that I want to be an advocate for, and I feel like it's just
This
stigma.
nigga.
Looking at it now, I consider my diagnosis as like the blessing of my life. It sounds weird to say, but I feel like it was like God, the universe, kind of
This nigga, just,
slapping me
everything
upside the
about
head
him is just
saying,
throwing me off.
you are
I saw him, I was
autopilot,
like, oh yeah, this
you
nigga
are
piping out
living
everybody.
from a victim
He getting piped
mentality,
out.
and it has led
You worried about the
to
wrong thing.
this very moment, and it's time to
Full
change.
blown AIDS.
HIV
My
is
shit's
literally
undetectable now.
an immunodeficiency.
Like 70 other autoimmune disorders.
What difference does it make with fibromyalgia or MS? You know, it's an immunodeficiency. You are not your
No,
diagnosis.
that makes a difference.
It's not.
I don't think all of them are
You know what I mean? You
contagious,
can have
transmittable.
this, you can have that, but it does not define you.
That man really tried to justify, like, in his mind that having AIDS was a good thing.
Yeah, I was told I was going to be dead in 3 years. Boy.
Oh, is that the same dude?
Yeah, that's the same dude. So what are we saying? Do you feel American? That stuff. That stuff.
What do y'all think about that? That's crazy. What we got from that was they really out here just exposing themselves. Wrap it up, guys. We can't be out here full blown idiots. Nigga came up with the moon curse.
That's, oh man. I would hate those companies.
That shit made me great. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Alright, like, comment, subscribe. We out, bro.
That shit tough.
Yeah, I can play the game like a maestro.